my perspective on pop culture and how it may or may not dominate news issues, usually the way that I think is most fitting to address that is by addressing artists. If, in fact, you know, it is a matter of what's popular. I mean, that's what pop culture is. It's just what's popular, right? Then the artists should be more strategic. Then our artists need to be even more exposed, more educated, thinking even more strategically about, oh, okay, how can I bring this issue to the forefront? If they're taking pictures of, you know, like, if TMZ wants to capture me, it's like choosing what t-shirt you're gonna put on that says the shit you want it to say, you know, because you know that the paparazzi are gonna be at the spot. I think we have to be more strategic in how we use and manipulate media, you know, in order to get ideas out there. Otherwise, I say that all of those things go in cycles. There was a time when political artists were popular. And those cycles come and go. You know, like even for those of us living today who reference Public Enemy back in the day, it's hard for people to possibly imagine that Public Enemy was not some underground political group, that they were a mainstream, you know, act. Just like Rage Against the Machine was a mainstream act. And so there's always been these moments where what was popular was actually something that was moving the conversation forward. Yeah, I'm definitely hungry for that to happen again. You know, I would like, you know, as an artist, I think it's important to remember that you don't necessarily have to conform to what's out there to get your shit out there. That originality is really crucial. You know, of course, a lot of artists are just so interested in getting on, they're approaching it like a business. Like, one of the things I look at is like the cultural aesthetic. Like, I think our aesthetic over the past, let's say, decade is watered down. I mean, some of the strongest creative stuff you see coming out of this country, I would say, are our series. All right? The series on HBO or Netflix or what have you. It used to be independent films, it used to be independent music, you know, like, in terms of progressing the game. Series have progressed the game artistically. Musically, I've heard very little from here that has progressed the game artistically. I'm not saying it hasn't sold 1 million copies, but in terms of progressing the game in the way that like a Portishead or a Tricky or a Bjork may have done that back in the day, or the way that a Radiohead may have done that back in the day, or you know, like, there's lots of people who have that have progressed the game musically. And I think we're at a point right now where we're kind of applauding something for being popular, as opposed to, you know, finding that thing that takes us to takes art to the next level. Pop culture news issues. It comes with the territory. I mean, this is the propaganda capital, this country. It requires that every individual be super mindful of what they ingest, meaning through watching, through reading, through their timeline, through browsing, all this stuff, because we're being told what's fresh, right? I mean, and they've been practicing that for a long time. I mean, look at CocaCola. CocaCola had the most perfect, simple, like, motto, right? Coke is it. There's no question, it's just like, Coke is it. Wow, what a fucking phrase, right? And now there's tons of shit that basically has that mentality behind it, and we're applauding the successful business mentality while disregarding the exploitation or where it may actually be leading us. I'm not sure about pop culture in this country right now because it just reflects our aesthetic, and the aesthetic here right now isn't as fresh as I think it could be. I mean, for example, one of the freshest artists I think making music, directing their videos, writing amazing songs right now is a cat from Belgium via Rwanda named Stromae. Stromae is doing amazing work. Stromae is probably one of the most progressive rappers doing shit right now. It's not in English. Americans aren't necessarily checking for it. And for the first time, I'm listening to stuff from a global position and feeling like our shit is a little behind. You know, it used to be that, like, as a New Yorker, for example, I remember traveling to Germany and France and be like, damn, all these rappers are just trying to sound like they're from New York. New York, you know, like they got a French accent, they got, you know, a New York accent speaking in French. They have a New York accent rapping in German. You know, like these LA cats rapping, and now, okay, now it's like what, Southern style or Chicago drill rap style or any of this shit, right? And you see that. I saw a video the other day with these Punjab kids like doing the drill rap shit. It's like in Punjab. It's like, okay. And it was fresh. But I think we have to like massage our aesthetic here right now. I see it happening. I think we're on the cusp of an arts movement, which is great because it's happening simultaneously with this new political awakening that's happening through like Black Lives Matter and all these major discussions that are going on surrounding criminal justice and all this shit in society. I think we'll reach a point where the two will merge and we may step into some great, great music out of the ghettos of Chicago that is really leading the cause, or out of Ferguson, or out of Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? In the same way that we might look at someone like Kendrick Lamar and go, wow, what a bright light to shine from Compton, you know? I think we're on the cusp of something right now, but we're still kind of bogged down by like corny shit, you know? Taylor Swift type, you know, more of the same, like, it's cool and it's great to see a woman empowered, you know? But still, for me, there's a question of references because there is some great fucking music that has been made on this planet through time. And it's not all in English, it's not all coming from here. And all I'm saying is that there's so much inspiration to be found. And it's really a shame if, you know, if your inspiration is quite simply just like, okay, Madonna and da-da-da. I'm like, dude, have you listened to Grace Jones? Have you listened to Serge Gainsbourg? Have you listened to Brigitte Fontaine? Have you listened to Fela Kuti? Have you listened, you know, like there's so much shit we could pull from to take this shit to a next level. Some of the stuff I hear just feels a little lazy, but I like where some of the stuff is going.
And we're talking about high school and grade school. This is a pivotal time. This is an impressionable time, especially a time where you should be using your creativity and figuring out how to use your creativity along with book smarts.
The father comes up from the back like this and starts like charging Ray and start boxing him. Boom. Like, oh shit, Ray's axe getting beat up by a kangaroo.
Keep hip hop strong and keep it going and put music, good music back out there to the community.
Like my career isn't comprised of Kanye West or Common only. Blue Collar, whatever we're talking about with J Records, Blue Collar was a classic album.